Hello everyone, this experiment is regarding frame relay. We are going to configure the frame relay in this experiment. So initially we need to configure the frame relay, but before that we need to configure the IP addresses. We'll assign the IP addresses to the PCs and to the routers. We'll be configuring the frame relay using the sub interfaces. So to the PCs here I've assigned the IP addresses, say for the PC1 it is 192.168.10.2 and with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and here for PC1 it's again 30.2, it's in 30.0 network, it's in 10.0 network, and here for the web server the IP address is 209.165.200.2.2/30. Here we can see a cloud in the center. Basically, to configure a cloud, we need to get into the cloud interface. We'll go to the config mode, and what we need to exactly do here is we need to tell from which router interface, from which interface does it get enters into the cloud, the packet gets entered into the cloud, and from which interface does it get exit. So for example, if a packet goes from R1 to R3, that is 1 to 3, so we'll consider it as 103. Okay, so if it goes from the DLCI is basically the number which we are going to assign here to configure the cloud. So if it goes from 1 to 3, it is 103, and it will come into the cloud from serial interface 2 and get out of the cloud from serial interface 1. So I go to the serial interface 2. Here you can see I have given 102 and 103. 103 means my router 1's packet will go to the router 3 packet from the interface serial 2. Okay, and in the similar manner, where for serial interface 1, I should have 3 to 1. So it's R3 to R1, and it's 301. So that indicates that the DLCI number is 301. So to assign the DLCI number, we'll give a number, say 301, and name it as R3 to R1. Sorry, R3 to R1, and give add. But I already added the interfaces, so I'm not going to add anymore. And if you want to remove, select this and press remove. Once you click the remove button, they'll get removed automatically. We are going to work with the frame relay, so we'll get into the frame relay interface. Then we'll choose the serial interface. Based on it, we can see there's a the R2 to R1, all these links appear. So basically, if a packet wants to go from R1 to R3, so through serial interface 2, I can see it's R1 to R3. Okay, and if the packet is supposed to return from R3 to R1, it should be serial interface 1. So I'll select a serial interface 1. Automatically it comes like R3 to R1. But I already have a link called R1 to R3 to R3 to R1. So I'm not going to add anymore. Once you press add, it gets added. So you see there are 3 things configured from serial 2, serial 1 and serial 2 again. And we need not repeat it saying from R2 to R3, R3 to R2 everything, as it's already configured there. Okay, to start up with the configuration of the router, we'll assign the IP address to all the routers initially, and then we need to get into the router interface. Go to the CLI mode. What exactly we need to do here is we'll go enable conf t. Okay, we need to assign the IP addresses to the sub interfaces. So there's this thing which we need to follow. We'll give interface serial 0/0/0/.2 point to point. Point to point here refers that the interface is point to point, that is it is going to use frame relay. Okay, and then IP address, then the assigned IP address to that interface. Suppose I'm going from this interface, so it's serial/2/0.2. As in this case, I've assigned .2 and some .2. So it will be serial 2/0.2 point to point. IP address will be given in a similar manner: 10.1.1.1, 255.255.252. Okay, and then the frame relay DLCI. Frame relay DLCI here refers to the routers, from which router to which router. This means router 1 to router 2. That is router 1 to router 2. The IP address given is 10.1.1.3/30. That is DLCI 102. Okay. After that, IP address 10.1.3.2, 252, and the frame relay is 103. So from router 1, it goes to 2 using the IP address this, and it goes to router 3 using the IP address this, and it is all configured in sub interface, that is .2 and .3. First we'll do SE2/0.2 and then SE2/0.3. And then the router EIGRP1 network and the directly connected networks are given. This is basically done to indicate that to configure the routing protocols, and this is done similar manner to all the routers to indicate that the routing protocols works among them. And then finally, after configuring frame relay in all the PCs, we should configure the frame relay in all the PCs, and then configure the EIGRP protocol between the frame relay in all the routers, and then we need to configure the EIGRP protocol between the routers for the routing protocol to be active. At the end of the experiment, we should check whether the PCs are able to ping each other as well as the web server. Ultimately, all the PCs and the web server should be able to communicate with each other. So here we see we are able to ping all the PCs and all the web servers. To check the configuration, we can see show frame relay map. This shows us the frame relay map. This says that serial interface 0.2 and 0.3, those two are up, and the point to point is configured on the 102 and 103 status, and the status is defined and as well as active. Similar manner, all these routers can be seen for show frame relay map. Show frame relay map. So you can see here again it says that the point to point is configured from third router to the first router, and the status is active. In similar manner, you can do it for the you can check it for the router 3. This was about frame relay to configure the frame relay in the sub interfaces. Thank you.